Hey, this is Amy with Fener English, and today I want to talk to you about modals. And I'm going to try to keep this really simple because when I meet with my native Turkish-speaking clients, there tends to be just a lot of anxiety or fear over using modals incorrectly. And I'm just going to tell you now, we really use a lot of them interchangeably. And so I hope that by the end of this video, you can stop worrying about trying to understand every little nuance or difference between each modal. So let's start off talking about modals of possibility. And we're going to start all the way back at might. And so might is very non-committal. So I'm going to use the same sentence for every one. I might go to Izmir this weekend. I could also say, I may go to Izmir this weekend. I could say, I could go to Izmir this weekend. And honestly, with all of these, I really kind of mean the same thing. So with might, with may, and with could, I really mean the same thing. Now, here are the differences. Might makes it very non-committal, low possibility. May does the same thing, except here's the exception. Maybe I'm 15 years old and I need permission from my mom to go to Izmir. And then I might say, I may go, as in I have permission to go this weekend, but I don't think that's what any of us are thinking about here. So I might go to Izmir this weekend. I may go to Izmir this weekend, same thing. Now, I could go to Izmir this weekend. It means that it is possible for me and it's in my control, but it implies that there is something else that I need to deal with, some other information. So I could go to Izmir this weekend, but my daughter's ill, or I could go to Izmir this weekend, but I have a lot of work to do, or I could go to Izmir this weekend, but I need to get the oil changed in my car first. So using could very often means that there's some other business or some other factor involved in the decision. Now, can technically has to do with ability and not possibility, but we use it all the time. So if my friend says, hey, can you go to Izmir this weekend? And I say, yeah, I can go to Izmir this weekend. That's basically a commitment. And so can is a pretty strong statement of possibility, even though it's technically about ability. That might seem pretty hard to understand, but can is almost as strong as saying I will. So can you go to Izmir? And I say, yeah, I can go to Izmir. Then that's me almost making the commitment. And so then from there, the next one is I will go to Izmir this weekend. Outside of that, you have the word should, and should is the same in Turkish as with your verbs when you do the malameli, so I should go to Izmir this weekend. That means that I have some kind of responsibility to go. It's the right thing to do. Maybe I have a relative who lives there and my relative needs some help. I should go to Izmir this weekend. After that, you have must, which in American English we never really use, but you could say, I must go to Izmir this weekend. And that basically means that your entire life depends on it. But again, we would never really say that in American English. So that kind of takes you all the way through the levels of degree of using modal verbs. So starting all the way with might and may and could and can, even though can is technically ability, that's not how we normally use it. We use it for possibility, to will, to should, to must, all the way through. Now I want to talk to you for just a moment about using modals and questions, and I hope this takes the pressure off of you regarding choosing the right verb for your question. So I'm just going to say the same sentence and change the modal. Can you send me that document? Could you send me that document? Would you send me that document? Will you send me that document? I used 4 different modals and they all mean the exact same thing in my question. And so when you are asking a question, any of those are appropriate. Now, if you're talking about yourself, you wouldn't say like, will I leave for lunch or something like that if maybe you're asking your boss. So that's the only one that wouldn't work when you're talking about yourself. You would say, may I, which again, we only use in more formal environments. And so even with that, in American English, we could say, hey, can I go ahead and leave for lunch? Or if you're very formal, may I go ahead and leave for lunch? Could I go ahead and leave for lunch? And any of those are appropriate for asking your questions, and you don't need to worry too much if you're using the right one or the wrong one. Just maybe keep in mind that we would never say may you, like may you send me this. We would never, ever, ever under any circumstances use that. And so keep that in mind, but just maybe relax a little bit with the use of modals in your questions, because I have a lot of clients who really do get worried about using the wrong thing. Now, I just want to give you one little note on the word can. Can is technically a modal that refers to ability. So I can play the piano, I can play basketball. And so we use that and imply that in a lot of questions, but again, it goes into possibility. So can you meet me tomorrow at 9 in the morning? Yes, I'm asking, are you available? Are you able to do it? But what I'm really asking is it possible? But when you get down to ability, you want to make sure you're using can. So can you fly an airplane? Well, if you're a pilot, you would say yes, but I wouldn't ask someone like, could you fly an airplane? Because it's a specialized field. And so just remember, when we're truly, truly talking about ability, are you able to? Is it something that you can do? We've got to use can. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful. If you want to continue to learn to speak more like a native English speaker, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel and visit fenerenglish.com today.